It is time, once again, to lock your doors, shut your windows, strap yourself into your favorite comfy chair, and tune out and tune into The Naked Zombie.
G'day and welcome to another episode of The Naked Zombie. I am your host Brad Scott, who's not wearing his glasses as you can see, so I'll be flying blind. Now tonight we have the Naked Debate, which is joining me as Liam. Big wave to the camera, Liam.
Yeah. How's everybody?
He's looking nice. I told you he's the eye candy of the whole thing. You know? And also joining me is, of course, Wadsy as ever. Hey buddy.
Hi all.
How you doing, mate?
Good. How you, Liam?
You're looking lovely as ever.
Am I supposed to wave to the camera?
Yeah, you can wave the camera too if you want.
Hi, camera.
Because we're going live and hopefully the internet won't cut out again like it has been in the last episodes. We're slowly fixing the little issues. But, hey, like I said, it's been a while since we've had to do this.
Yeah.
So it's going really, really well.
This is really testing your brain skills, isn't it, Brad?
Oh, you have no idea. I have constantly got brain. And lying on the desk, as you can see, is Hobo Bill.
That's because we've put him to sleep already with our boredom.
Look, here he is. He's lying here. If anyone can see live on the show.
I'm saying you're flying blind and he's just blind.
He's just blind.
Hang on.
Hobo Bill is drunk on the table.
Hobo Bill is covering his ears up. He does not want to hear this rubbish.
Do you blame him? So anyway, look, tonight's show, of course, is the Naked Debate. And don't forget, if you listen by, this is also comes as a podcast version. So if we do lose the internet again, it doesn't matter because you'll be able to listen to the show by a podcast and see us live and listen to the show that way. So all is good with the world.
It is.
Don't you think? Awesome.
If the net doesn't drop out.
That's the net doesn't drop out. But, yeah, listen, these are things we're slowly working on at the moment. So hello to the viewers, of course. You can also contact us via the chat line or the something thing. You go to social stream or the chat line. And you're on that now, Wadsy?
No, not yet.
Oh, he's working on it. Okay, so Wadsy will get out questions for us and stuff like that. If you wish to get in contact with us live tonight, send through the information and, away you go. And ask some questions and stuff like that. Tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about equipment in the paranormal field. Equipment is one of the major things that people have dealt with. Now, there is a poll being run at the moment with the live streaming. Basically, the question is the K2 meter a good tool for paranormal investigators? You can click yes or no on that, and it'll come up with some answer by the end of the show.
No, maybe?
No, there's only two. I haven't got that much money yet to pay for the extra.
Okay.
And if you have trouble hearing us, I'm sorry. Like I said, it should be fine, though, as far as I'm aware, unless we have to yell.
As long as you don't go deaf with the ads.
Deaf with the ads. Are those my glasses or your glasses?
No, they're my
I
glasses.
was going to say, what's Hobo Bill doing with them? Anyway, I've lost my glasses, as you can see, so I'm actually flying blind tonight, so I won't be reading much at all. And I like hiding behind the microphone and the camera because then no one can see me.
Great.
How does that work for you? Anyway, look, before we get kicked off on tonight's show, I'd like to bring up a couple of issues that I think are very important. And I've got some news for you all out there as well, which I think is really cool at the same time. Now, the first thing is that if you're a paranormal group or someone like that and you sell equipment or whatever you do, we support all of you. All right? There is no favouritism with Naked Zombie Radio whatsoever.
Is that because we don't have any money to buy anything?
That's probably it too. But what it is that we, with Ghost Shack, I approached Ghost Shack when they first started up, say, guys, listen, you're just starting up, would you like an ad run? For nothing. Now, I will do that for anyone. I will do up an ad to put on the show for anyone who wants an ad run to help them with their business. We're all about supporting the field as a total whole. I have not actually personally been given anything at all. Equipment I have bought, I have either bought from overseas, and I have bought something from Ghost Shack, but I paid full retail price for it because that's what I wanted to do.
Yep.
And I'm sure Ghost Shack can vouch for that because I'm not interested in favouritism with anyone. I support you all because you're all doing a fantastic job, and that's the thing. You're all trying to make a go of it. And that's just my viewpoint on that. I know there's a bit of controversy at the moment within the Australian paranormal side of things about equipment. But seriously, guys, I don't know the full story, but at the end of the day, you're running a business, you're trying to get the information out there, you're trying to sell your product, and I wish you all the best in that because it is hard breaking into this sort of field, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
It is hard. It's not
It's,
easy.
yeah,
And
hard,
Well said.
hard at the best of times. So.
it's hard at the best of time. And as we know, what the economy is like, it's nothing really to
Got a comment here from Ghosty saying he's lost the video.
He's lost the video. If the video if you've lost the video, can hear us. That's
Because I've
fine.
lost the video as well.
You've lost the video as well.
Yep.
I've got the video running perfectly.
Your direct feed though, aren't you?
Yeah, on direct feed. But what it is, if refresh it,
Refresh.
just type something up and hit the and hello Ghosty Moose, hello guys, all the rest of it, and great. And so far the poll is. No is winning in the polls for how does the KT make a good
So look
paranormal.
at that. It's almost double the yeses.
It's double the yes, so I'll be interested
So
to
what's
see
that?
by
2 to 1?
Hey,
2 to 1?
2 to 1.
Is that what it is?
No, I don't know. It's just I haven't got
Make
the full
it sound less
details yet.
important than it is.
That's
Yeah.
double?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so tonight's show we're going to discuss the paranormal as an equipment side of things. I think it's very good, and I love hiding behind the mic. It's awesome. And look, big shout out to everyone who's joined us. G'day, guys. We love yous all, except for Wadsy because he just loves himself.
Have to love myself. Nobody else does.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Too.
I don't have any friends. I've got enemies that just don't hate me so much.
So are we on the chat or are we on the social stream side of things?
Oh, I don't know. Would you like to be on?
Oh, I don't care. What's the chat?
Well, the chat's
say?
empty.
Chat's empty.
Social stream's got Ghosty Moores
Yeah.
saying that he's lost the video.
Well, I haven't got that.
Yeah,
on
I've
there.
refreshed it. Comes up with the video again. And what do I vote? Yes or no?
So you can see the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
And-
So
and it is.
if you
It
lose
is.
video,
2 to 1.
just hit the refresh button and it'll bring it back.
It'll
up
bring it
for
back
you.
up. Yep.
Yeah. So don't stress about it.
Hang
It's
on.
just one
I'm
of
going
those.
to make this a fair competition. There we go.
Oh damn! Right, no, it's got to be a fair competition. Doesn't mean you just add anything you want. Good one. Oh, thanks. Now it's equal.
You
Thanks.
flipped a coin.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Just refresh the video, guys, and it should come up again for you and everything. So now, if you do drop out tonight, don't panic. It's just one of those things. It'll automatically start up again.
Yes, if you refresh.
Yeah. Now, because I've lost my glasses and I'm flying blind, literally, what we're going to do is we're going to have a bit of a discussion about what else the Naked Zombie team are doing. Now, Liam has some really cool news for the Naked Zombie listeners.
Yep.
The Naked Zombie Army, as I like to call you guys, because you're just so awesome. What's the latest news, what we're doing, without giving too much away, because it's a big secret squirrel business? Go for
Okay,
it.
so as we promised, going back about a month or so ago, that we were going to do some really, really exciting investigations of some new places. We actually have three places lined up at the moment, with a fourth in the running. So, yeah, we're still just waiting to hear back and finalise that one. But two of the places have never ever been investigated before. But
Awesome.
very very big reputation for the ghosts that apparently reside inside those buildings. So that'll be fantastic. They've never been touched. And the other two are places that have been done in the past, but not for a very long time. So, yeah, hopefully, if the ghost had been scared away from previous investigations, they'll have all returned. We'll get first chop at them. So,
Yep, so we've got 3 locations locked down at this stage and a fourth one on the way.
That's right.
I see these are places that are totally out of the ordinary. If you know them, they're not your usual places. Now, we're
So
not...
they're not jails.
No, they're not jails.
Yeah.
But what it is, we're actually going to do it as part of the radio show. We're actually going to take out and record it for the radio show, which is going to be different. It's not an investigation as such. It's a fly-on-the-wall approach to what we're going to be doing. And we'll be having a lot to do with the owners and stuff like that. And they're going to tell you their story. You won't see me running around in front of the camera doing anything because, A, you probably don't want that, and B, I wouldn't do it anyway anymore.
You're too old and
as
fat,
in
that's
hiding
why.
behind the microphone.
Too old and fat, thank you. Cheers. Look how buffed I'm getting. Check it out. Look, I've been working out. That's just sheer muscle there, mate. Just be careful. I'll come over there and sit on your lap or something and dance.
I'm scared.
I would be too. Hang on, we've got heaps to go. I've lost video. Someone else the same problem. Oh, hello. Show going well. We could just, you want to type a comment, just hit the reset.
Me type a comment.
Yeah, you type it. Just say, just reset the video and away you go.
Hang on, where are we? Where do I type that?
Peter, I can get on chat, but I keep losing video. Yeah, just reset it.
Refresh.
Refresh, whatever.
Refresh screen. And it will come back.
Awesome. Thank you, Wadsy. And don't forget there is a poll there, folks. If you're hearing me but not seeing the video, that's fine. You're listening live. Anyway, either way.
That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yes, you're listening live. So if you're missing the video, doesn't matter. You can still listen to us live and you can just carry on.
And that makes you extra freaky if you want to see us ugly faces.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, well, I think we should start tonight's program off.
I thought we had.
properly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what we are talking about tonight is paranormal equipment. Now, if anything comes up on the chat, you'll have to let me know because I'm too busy looking at you too, so my back's to the screen.
Okay.
All right, so you watch the chat. If any questions come up,
Well, on the
please send-
social stream, not on the chat.
Social stream. Any questions come up, just let them go. And don't forget about the poll there about the K2 meter. Now, tonight's episode is mainly to do with questions within the paranormal field regarding equipment.
Yep.
What do we think equipment is like nowadays? This is the thing. Is equipment, with technology, things are just leaped and bounds. You know, you just can't deny the fact there is more out there today than there ever was really today. You know what I mean? There's always something new coming out. It's gone from the old style of throwing flour around, we've talked about this, to having trigger objects which still get used today, to going through to spraying cans of sunflower oil on mirrors to see if there's any compression.
Yep.
Their features, flour on the floor, we all know about that one. And it's all got to do with different aspects of it. That's back in the old days, lighting candles. Also, people forget that even candles are a great source of information if they're done right.
Because they flicker?
Well, it's not. If you can put a candle in a room where you know it's sealed off totally and there's no possible way of any breeze coming through or anything like that, but also it's good in a way that you put a candle, it will tell you which way there is any breeze coming in because it will flicker to that opposite, you know, it'll follow the direction it's going in. So these are little tips within the paranormal field that probably people don't know a lot about.
It's not really electrical equipment, though, is it?
No, it's not. But this is what I mean. This is where we're starting off. We're starting from the early days.
Basics.
Yeah.
The
So,
basics.
it was, prior to all the electronic equipment that was out, it was things like
Oh, in
candles
that
and
case, then screen
pinwheels
factor.
and-
Yes.
Yeah.
Screen factor.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, screen factor. I mean, this is the thing. We have so much stuff to go through tonight, and we want to hear from you guys. This is the thing. Jump on and tell us what you think, and your ideas on stuff like that as well. You know, don't be strangers.
We're all family
You're not
here.
in danger from strangers.
We're all
Stranger danger.
family.
We are all family. One big paranormal family. Right. Now, Liam, would you like to bring up...
We've got 5 current viewers. That's you and me.
That's
Plus
awesome.
another 3.
Actually, no, it's not, because I actually don't register as that.
Don't you?
Because I'm streaming it.
So we got 4.
Yeah, don't forget, folks, if you're watching tonight's show, please don't forget to tell people about it, get them to come across. The more people get on here, the more the show is going to be done, and yada, 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 like this.
Yep.
Awesome. Big boy, go for it.
Okay, where should we start as far as
I
equipment
think we
goes?
should start from the earliest possible thing, because you're our historian. Your view on the earliest possible forms of investigation. I want to know why... See, I still think old ways are good ways.
Yep.
And they shouldn't be forgotten. But I also do like a lot of the technology out there nowadays. And that's what we'll start off with that. So you hit the ball running on that one, mate.
So I think, for all the really up-to-date technology that we've got now, I still think all the old ways, like you do, they're still really, really good. I don't think people should forget a lot of that as well. And it's always, good to have that backup as well. As we know, for anyone who's gone out in investigations, a lot of the time batteries get drained in your equipment, torches fail, and that's just the pitfalls of having electrical equipment. It fails from time to time. So having that older equipment around just gives you a backup source that you can still use, if your batteries die or your equipment dies.
Mm-hmm.
But going right back to the start, it wasn't uncommon 100 odd years ago, to be using things like flour on the floor and tying cotton across doorways and sealing doorways and that kind of thing. However, I guess it wasn't until you get sort of into the 1920s and 30s with that next big technological jump that a lot of parapsychologists or paranormal investigators started to actually invent their own equipment. And I guess that was sort of, when gadgetry, in a stricter sense of the term, actually started to come in. Especially people, especially like Harry Price, who, was...
Oh, well, Harry Price was like the godfather. I mean, he's like
Yeah.
Tesla,
Yeah.
isn't he? He sort of was one of the forefathers of exploring this. Or even Houdini got involved in that side of things as well. He went from being what he was as an escape artist to dishing out on the psychics and then becoming a psychic and finding out how he did it and into the paranormal. And this is what it's about. So you've got this vast history behind us that a lot of people don't necessarily know about.
Yeah.
It's got to start it from somewhere, and it's not just 10 years ago. It's not just 20 years
think-
ago. It goes back eons.
It gives a little bit of a false impression, I guess. A lot of people who watch the TV shows coming out of America, like Taps and Ghost Adventures, and seeing the evolution of the devices on those shows, but it sort of gives a bit of a false impression that that equipment's only been around for sort of the last 10 or 12 years that they've been watching that equipment evolve on these TV shows. But it dates right back to the early 1900s, when you had people like Harry Price who had their own laboratories, and they were spending weeks, if not months at a time, trying to come up with new and inventive ideas on how to prove the existence of spirits. So they were the godfathers of of the field as it is now. It's been 100 odd years in the making. So
well, it has been 100 odd years in the making. Like, so we can go back to the actual preset of what the paranormal was about.
Yeah,
it was to find answers. Now, beliefs have changed over the years. There's no two ways about it. Our beliefs have changed in the paranormal from the very early days to what we see it as today.
Yeah, and people's perspective of it.
Yeah, the perspective's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really, really spiritual back then.
Yeah, it was call the minister in and do an exorcism.
Well, they still do that today.
Yeah, but
it was more the first port of call.
It
wasn't your local paranormal group who went and done this sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was taken right back to the very, very beginning of the paranormal as such. We want to know why this events happen. Why stuff yada yada. So we call our local priest or whoever to come in and bless the house and do his thing. There were people investigating the paranormal, but their means of investigating were totally different from what they are today.
Yeah, very, very different.
Very, very different. And, believe it or not, the paranormal groups back in the old days, they did things a lot differently. They didn't rely on the technology as we do today. They went on solely, and there was a lot of spiritual stuff. There was a lot of more psychic and mediums back in those days as there were today.
And I think, and that was like a big crunch, in the paranormal field, or trying to prove the existence of spirits. It was very, very heavily based on psychics and mediums. And you look, especially with ghost photography as well, and a lot of mediums, who would pose for ghost photographs and try and get spirits to manifest. And it's sort of also focusing around things like Ouija boards and table tilting, and all those really early methods that were used to try and prove that there was a spirit around.
Well, if people don't know, well, I'm sure everyone in the audience tonight would know what table tipping is. Basically, if you can see us, and hello, you stick your hand on the table, flat on the table, and the table would rock when you ask the spirit a question or lift off the ground. Now, I remember when I was about 14 years of age, and this is where it gets a bit freaky, just as a quick story. Basically, my cousin lived in a haunted house. My older cousin. And anyway, and he for a joke, he said, we'll do this thing, because I was fascinated by the whole thing. Anyway, I had his mates over. He's like 10, 12 years older than me. And they had the hands on the table. Next minute, they started on the table, actually lifted off the ground, and there's no way the guys had their legs. So stuff like that has always fascinated me, is these are the old forms of communicating with the spirits. That's about it. Robert Cole, hey, we got a message from Robert.
Robert, yes,
what does Robert say?
Says, hey, you Brad. Yep, you did pay in full, mate. I would have given it to you for free for what you did for the Ghost Shack.
And that's right. Because we're going to, but that's what I said at the start of the show. Just to go off something that I will support anybody within the field, business, whatever, because I think it's important.
Do you know what's more important?
What?
He's actually watching us.
Yeah, someone's actually watching us. Big hello. But that's the thing. It's this is what it is. Everyone love. Let's have a lot of love. I'm not hugging a tree. I'm the last guy, a tree hugger. But it's cool. All right, keep going with that side of it, mate.
But it's sort of from those earliest things, those earliest methods of trying to capture ghosts or try and prove the existence of ghosts. And I guess the unfortunate thing is too, a lot of those methods, those early methods, these days are sort of treated as it's a bit of a party trick. The number of times you hear about people sort of messing around with Ouija boards and table tipping and that kind of thing. It's all considered like a little bit of a game these days. But you've got to understand that way back in the day, before we had the advantage of having a lot of this equipment, that was, they were the ways that people were actually going about investigations and trying to get some kind of proof.
Yeah.
But then sort of you hit the 1920s and 30s when you start to see a lot of contraptions starting to be invented. It was, sort of through that 20s and 30s period seems to be a time that there were a lot of inventors and a lot of crackpot, kind of equipment that was coming out. But it was from those, and the experimentation of those devices too that I guess they started to fine-tune what did work and what didn't work. It's led right up to the equipment that we've got today. I
mean, it started from somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically in a nutshell, we've talked about this, the stuff in the background, the stuff that started the whole paranormal field. Now you've got stuff like the millimeter.
Yep.
Right. Now,
hang on. Explanation.
Okay, millimeter is basically a device that was... Who was the guy who... Oh, I forget his name. Someone could probably help me. But when his daughter passed away, she was killed in a car accident. He wanted to have a communication with... I should know this guy's name. I listen to his stuff all the time. His daughter was named Melanie, so he called it the millimeter. And that way he was communicating with her. Now, this guy's a very smart man. He's very highly educated. He's a fantastic electronics engineer, yada, yada, yada. Someone could probably tell me his name. I've forgotten. And it's just more to do with he didn't design this bit of equipment for like a resale thing. Yep. Not at all. He built it but the results he was getting was amazing. And now it's something that you can buy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What does worry me though is when you got stuff like what do they call it? Not the Ghost Shack, the Ghost Hack box,
like a Frank's box or
the Frank's
a Spirit box.
What's the other one? The Obulus.
Yep.
Yeah, now I think the Obulus is pretty cool, and I've used the Obulus and I find that fascinating, but it is a little bit gimmicky at the same time. But what I've seen online and I get on eBay occasionally and look what's out there, and what happens is that because we live in Australia here, someone from overseas would put up an Obulus, like an actual Obulus. Or cube or something like that. Overseas, you pay $100 and something for them. People will pay $500, $600.
Yeah, in Australia, it's
for this
money.
And this is why it's important that we support our local stores. In that sense, I mean, we need to support our local guys in that sense because what they are doing, they're taking the pressure off us from trying to get stuff from overseas and selling it here in Australia. Yep. But that's what I mean. That's just going off track a bit, but that's my view on it, So you've got stuff like the Obulus, you've got the Obulus and stuff like that. You've got the K2 meter. Now, there is a thing on tonight's show which is the K2 meter good to a paranormal? But look, actually, yes has taken over from no. But I want to hear people write. I want to hear people write about why they think it's a good...
Yeah, for people who actually, regularly using the K2,
why is it a good unit?
Have they gotten? Why do they, how do they use it and why do they, what kind of results do you get? Why do you think it's good?
I mean, I've had interesting effects with the K2 in my time, but nothing that I would deem wonderful. And you're playing with... Stop touching up, buddy. Hobo Bill, you freak. So what you got is, you got this. I've had interesting things with the K2 meter is done. I've asked questions. I've got responses and stuff like this. I was more inclined to use the actual with the key. But before they had the click on, click off switch, I used to shove a key in there because it was very easy to manipulate.
Yep.
All you did was the slightest touch, and it would register. And I saw a lot of that, and a lot of stuff I saw on YouTube, and that I really just couldn't believe. And even the stuff that I was doing with it, if I stuck my thumb on the K2 meter on the thing, it was like, well, did I accidentally just flinch and not realise? But when
the K2 meter is recording electronic fields or sounds?
Yeah, that's right, electronic
fields.
So it's an
EMF detector,
frequency.
But the frequency is so tiny. It's like, in the grand scheme of electronic magnetic fields or frequencies, whatever you call it, it's about that big. You spend $2,000 on a proper EMF meter, the field's this big.
Yep.
Yeah, and people can see me now doing visuals. This is great. So doing this big. So the range of fluctuation is only very, very tiny, and it's not very precise.
Yep.
But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Jason Dixon. Go, Jason. How are you, mate? See you up there. is that whole thing. Everything varies, and this is where we don't know, do we?
No. And I mean, I guess I've never particularly liked the K2 meters, and only for the sheer reason that I actually started off using the Lutron 822, way back in the day, sort of late 90s, around 2000. But I really liked the fact that it had a precise reading, and you could actually pull it up, you could have a look at milligauss, it gave you a precise reading, whereas the K2, it's like...
You had flashy lights.
Yeah, it's like trying to cook a cake in an oven that's got 3 temperature settings, like warm, hot and bloody hot. I mean, there's no way of actually gauging, exactly where your device is sitting, what kind of readings you're getting. And I guess I don't like it for that fact that, there's just no precision in it at all.
No, there is no precision, and this is what we're doing. Are we using that scenario of the K2 as our main source of communications? But are the questions, because seriously, I was using it one night, and one of my mates had his phone on silent, and every time he get a text message, it'd flicker up. Yeah. And I'm thinking, wow, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, because first thing I say is everyone's phones off.
Yeah.
You've got to have your phones off when using this stuff. Sorry, Aramanda. Yeah, it keeps dropping out on me. Just hit refresh. But that's the thing. It's the slightest variation, and it'll just sit there and do a little dance.
Yeah, and that was, once the Melmeter hit the market, that was one of the big selling points of the Melmeter, was that you weren't, any kind of mobile phone reception problems or radio frequency, it wasn't spiking because it's built not to react to that. Whereas with a K2 any kind of mobile phone, if you're getting a text message or whatnot, it would affect the readings that you were getting on it. So it was, it was fairly unreliable. And even if you don't have your own phone on, someone who's nearby, like you said, had it silent in their pocket, you don't know that. So
well, you don't know that.
But even when the phone
honesty.
searches for network or searches for another network or another
that's
Wi-Fi
right.
thing, it's putting out a signal.
Which in, the basement of a building, of course your phone's going to be searching for
Yeah.
And if you've got 5 or 6 people, and everyone carries a mobile phone, so if you've got 5 or 6 people and all their phones are trying to look for a signal.
Or trying to Bluetooth each other.
Or Bluetooth each other or whatever, and text messages flying backwards and forwards. What are you going to get?
Yeah.
A lot of false evidence. And this is where I find the problem with it, the K2. That's my biggest concern. But if you're an avid K2 user, I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Look, a while ago I got offered from a supplier of K2s. Said, oh, Brad, we'd love you to have your product on there, so we'll give you this. Yeah. I went, no. Sorry, not interested. Because I didn't want to give people false information regarding what the K2 meter did, because they made us see, this was a while ago, they made us see on TV, it first came out on Ghost Hunters, I think it was, where they did the Manson murder mansion. Well, it was not actually their mansion, but that's, I reckon, where the spirits are hanging around. And that's where it became popular.
Well, even on that episode, the reason it became popular was, that's the way that they were using it, was to try and get a response. So it was, asking yes and no questions. There was no keys in that episode.
So they were all doing with their fingers, if you know what I mean. So, where do you guys stand with it? It's just an interesting... and Jason RF Fields. Thank you, Jason. But, this is what it's about. Are we relying so much on technology? Now, I have a thing about the EMF pump, right? Nowadays, they're a lot better than what they were, say, a couple of years ago.
Yep.
They're fairly new in a lot of aspects. If you go back to Tesla and all the rest of it, he was producing these things in massive electronic magnetic things that are just shooting out amazing amount of information. Like Tesla, we can grant for that, because he was... the man.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a genius. So EM pumps have been around for a long time, but they're just a lot smaller nowadays. So in the frequencies that they're producing and stuff like that, is that affecting that sort of side of things? Don't sit there and shake your head. It's live radio.
Another heavily debated topic at the moment too is the difference between an electromagnetic field pump and a magnetic pump as well. Yeah. You're seeing coming out of the United States a lot of these pumps, which is just a bundle of rare earth magnets being spun round and round in circles and flicking off flicking off these fields. But how, is there any sort of, any benefit to using something like that, in comparison to an EM pump, that's actually giving off a proper electromagnetic field? Like, who knows? But it's being debated at the moment amongst so many groups around the world.
Yeah, see, I've got a great Ghostly Moose. I'll just read this out. It has to be half and half. You can't rely entirely on equipment, but I think it makes a hand addition. Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's right. We have to take. Tesla's my hero. He's mine too. I think we can utilise the new equipment today as long as we don't forget about stuff from the past.
Yep.
The past is there for a reason because we learn from it. And this is the thing. I reckon, look, I've used every single bit of equipment under the sun over the years. And from very basic pen and paper, you just leave it in a room. We've talked about this in the past and seal the door off. But I guess it's the contamination that worries me.
Yep.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. We have to be so careful. Look, we don't go and investigate private homes, right? We're up front. I've done all that, did all that, and I found it conflicting in a lot of areas because sometimes the client wants
a result.
Wants a result, and you can't always give them a result that you think is 100%.
Yep.
Yep.
Not tampered with. And not saying no one's coming in, but contamination, and that's what worries me about it. But you can't also show the evidence unless you've got the equipment. If you know what I mean, you say, "Oh, listen, my bit of paper did this, and this, and this, and but my meter head did this, but my video camera with the laser grid pattern on there picked up this image moving across." Now that's more visual for evidence nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, you could write everything down, but people want to see true evidence.
They do, yeah. I mean, reading about it, it's more fiction. They think it's fiction, and you could make up anything because they weren't there. But they need the video evidence or sound or
EVP,
pictures,
stuff like that.
something that.
And if you're a ghost,
even if they're half smart, they could say EVPs are affected by something, or the meters are affected by something else.
Yeah.
So video is really the only true 100% guarantee that you've actually got something, but then you need all the other stuff to back it up.
The trouble with video, and I'm seeing a lot of it on YouTube, it's so easy to...
Oh, it's, yeah, I mean, you can't...
No matter what you do nowadays, you can just duplicate stuff going out of fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, it's like this whole...
Oh, you'd say it's one place and it could be totally different. Filmed somewhere else.
It's not just that.
It doesn't have to be the place you're filming.
No, it's like with this, like the orb scenario and all the rest of it, how...
You mean the dust on the lenses?
Dust on the lens and the bugs and all the rest of it, and the flight pattern and all this rest of it. It gets very confusing for people. I know solely they want to believe that these things are real, and you've got a bit of video evidence. So you call it on your IR Illumina and stuff like that, and you pick up this bit of evidence. But I think a lot of groups nowadays sort of walk away from that side. They actually don't show people that. I mean, I think they're more educated nowadays, which is a good thing because of technology. More educated, realise, well, that's probably just that, and they're trying to get the actual real evidence they can to the client. But what fascinates me more than anything on this planet is EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. But I'm funny in the sense I like doing it on the old Casio bloody tape, if you know what I mean.
Handheld dictaphone.
On the dictaphone, I always sort of say equipment is there. Okay, just Jason's come up with instruments. Sorry to interrupt you guys.
Only thing you should keep in mind that the millimeter kits, etc., that they will pick up natural magnetic fields.
That's right.
Which is very true, and they're all over the place.
Yes, that is correct. But Jason Dixon writes, I always say equipment is there to try and confirm what you are feeling and seeing with your body. I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
As long as you don't forget about your body.
Exactly.
Your body is the greatest bit of paranormal detection equipment.
As I said at the beginning, the scream factor. How much you scream.
Yeah,
the scream factor.
You scream a lot.
I know, especially when you're behind me.
Yeah, that's for another. That's for the adults only.
Only adults only version. That comes on to cops, adults only.
Yeah, that's when we strip off and do the show naked for people out there. I'm talking to you guys. You know what I'm
yeah, with you at your place and me at mine.
Stop it. But I mean, this is where it gets interesting. We are trying to discover what is a good process with equipment and how we're going to best utilise it. You take the EM pump, it produces the field that in hindsight is meant to attract the spirit, right? To make a communication greater, to make them form quicker, because they reckon they draw energy. And this produces enough of that to actually help manipulate things.
To help, just give them a bit of a helping hand.
Bit of how to kick. But how is that also detrimental to that? Yeah, how is it we stand... I've seen videos, and this is no word of lie. I have seen video that they've had this EMM pump within an inch of this EMF pump. They had a K 2 meters all lined up. And seriously, it was like waving waving a red flag at a bull.
Yeah.
And these K2 meters were going nutso because of what... pumping, but to them that was true paranormal evidence, and I'm thinking, well, no, it can't be, because you haven't taken the contamination.
You've
if you
not
take the
isolated
EM pump away,
the devices away from what sets them off.
yeah.
Although, I mean, on the flip side of that too, have a look. We know that if you stand in anywhere, especially if there's like a power box or something, that's
microwave,
out,
fridge, TV that's left
plug a
on,
load of
radio.
EMF like coming out of a power box. Once you get into those higher levels of electromagnetic frequency, you're going to start to feel nauseous. You're going to start to see things. You're going to feel depressed. Sad. You're going to go through a range of emotions. That's just how electromagnetic frequency reacts with the human body.
Yeah.
So would you say then that the EM pump would be best put in a room, with a video camera, and then sealed off, and no investigators were to go into the room, because I mean, given the amount of milligas that a lot of the EM pumps these days, they're very, very good, starting to pump out.
Yep.
Is it safe, or is it worthwhile to be in a room, with one or more, multiple EM pumps, if electromagnetic frequency actually affects your body in that way?
Well, that hypersensitivity.
Yeah.
That's a classic case of overexposure to EMF.
A comment that
sorry.
Ghosty Mood says you have to be willing to debunk your own evidence.
Oh, definitely.
So, I mean, I think that means that you've got to be able to prove that it's not right as much as you've got to prove that it is right, to say, well, hang on, there's so many variables in there that something else could have happened.
Oh, that's right. I mean, you've got to be able to take what you've got and say, well, that's rubbish, that's rubbish, that's rubbish. I'll put that on. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Right. Now, once you've sorted all the crap out at the end of the day, and you come to this little pile of possible evidence, then you've got to go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the hard work. And that's to try and debunk the crap out of it. And if you can't debunk any more possible, then you give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's, once you've worked through it, could it be this? No.
Yeah.
Could it be that? No. And once you've expended all possibilities at all, if it's sitting there and you've got no known thing that could have caused that, well, then you're hitting into
then
that
you've got
evidence
something
area
which is
then,
inverted commas paranormal, which is not normal not normal from the normal what you're used to dealing with.
And Ghosty also writes that, Brad, you look so different without your pants. Oh, sorry, that's glasses.
I'm wearing pants, see?
Sit down, Brad.
Sorry. All right, fine.
I
just want to prove the fact that... I just want to prove the point.
And that was just flabby skin he was pulling out.
Just want to prove the point they actually do wear pants.
Put his hand in his pocket.
It's not called naked zombie because I don't wear pants during the make-it. Honestly, otherwise I'd have all these hot women sitting there instead of used to. Yeah, I've said
right,
deal
okay.
with it.
You live in
Well, I've
fantasy
totally
world,
gone off
Brad.
track
You
now.
feel total fantasy world.
I'm in my special place.
Your wife isn't even listening to the show. She's got upstairs to bed.
I know, and by the way, I'm still on crutches, so standing up quickly there really didn't do much for me. I had to sit back down again. Yes, my leg is still buggered. Yes, I'm actually found out my crutches are hanging over there. Just a bit of sad news for Bradley here. I'm going to have to do the...
Break out the violins.
No. I'm still on crutches, and I stood up on my left leg, which was all right, but I found out today I'm going to be on crutches either for the next 2 to 6 weeks. So this means when I'm doing the naked walk through the main street of Brisbane, when we're doing the Brisbane zombie walk,
You're going to fit right in. You
Yeah.
just drag one leg behind you.
I'm going to be on crutches. So that's great. Yeah, I'm going to do the Brisbane zombie walk, and I'm going to be on friggin' crutches for it. That sucks.
Kind of thing. Do they say it's something like a 3 to 4 kilometre hike? You do realise up and down hills. So
Yeah, I know. Guess what? I'll be taking a wheelbarrow and you boys are pushing me.
No, we'll just sit down on a park bench somewhere and they're going to walk past us.
Yeah, photo click.
Okay, you look good. So, you want to come over and talk?
But there is a good thing about doing the Brisbane Zombie Walk coming up because, you know, there's hot chicks in there. What can I say? They dress up as zombies. What more could a man want who's into zombies?
I don't know. I've never been.
That you will be.
Yes.
It's going to be great. And don't forget, folks out there, Brisbane Zombie Walk next weekend.
yeah, next weekend. So
21st. 21st. Don't forget the Brisbane Zombie Walk.
So,
Very,
and I
very
think-
important.
I think they've got it kicking off at 3, but they've asked everybody to turn up by at least 2 o'clock
Yes.
because they're going to go for a Guinness World Record attempt as well. So they need everyone there between 2 and 3 so they can get the numbers.
we will be there. We'll have media passes wrapped around our necks. And, yeah, we'll be out and interviewing everyone for the radio show. And we're actually working on conjunction with the Brisbane Zombie Walk.
Very good.
For this. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited that we're going to be a part of it. So, kudos.
Going to be an
Very good.
excellent day.
Excellent day. Can we keep talking about what we're talking about? Okay, what
Jason
questions?
Dixon.
Yep.
Medical researchers say 10,000 gauges is the max we should go near with our body. We deal with the MG, so it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know Jason builds this sort of stuff.
Yep.
And he knows what he's talking about. He really does. He has to... If you're a builder of equipment, you would know what you legally can and can't sell.
Yeah.
Everything has to be tested. Everything has to be safe. And you really got... And these guys know what they're doing. This is, at the end of the day, they know what they're doing. And this is what people got to bear in mind. These people put their life into this stuff.
Yep.
You know,
They breathe it on a daily
They
basis.
breathe it
so-
on a daily basis. So these guys would have the answers because they need to know what they're saying. And they do. Because we're Aussies. And we're awesome. And so are the American Yanks. Yeah, well, of course, we're all awesome. Whole world's awesome.
Except Hobo Bill's so much more awesomeness.
Oh, Hobo Bill's just the most awesome thing on the planet.
Yeah.
So Jason Dixon writes 6,000 plus milligood guys
Yep.
say they're under the limit. See, knows his stuff.
And
And
Amanda...
the Melbourne one and the Melbourne one on the 28th.
28th, I
Zombie
think
Walk.
she's
Thank
talking about the
you,
Zombie Walk.
Amanda, she come up and the Melbourne
Melbourne
one.
Zombie Walk 28. Yep.
Zombie Walk. Yes, we're not associated with the Melbourne one, but we'll give them a plug anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
They might fly us down there.
Oh mate, listen, so
Well,
much.
if we plug it enough, they might give us free trips.
Oh, stop it! You and your free trips.
Well, if
I'll
Jonesy
give you a free
can get a
trip to the
free
dentist
Merc
if
for
you want.
plugging Mercedes.
Free trip to the dentist coming up, mate.
Yeah, all right.
We still have to have that fight. When
I
we're
know.
10,
Yeah.
15
What are we going
years
to fight
ago.
about?
We'll make up something we go.
Yeah.
Now we're just talking absolute crap again.
You lead it that way.
Yeah, I know.
I was actually going to say, just throwing it out there, talking about milligauss and EMF at the moment.
Yep.
For anyone out there who uses EMF devices and going out regularly investigating, I know that I used to always work on a theory, which I learned, right back in the late 90s, that between around about 2 and 7
Yep.
was that was your optimum reading, for any kind of paranormal
Yep.
activity. Anything over, once you were hitting around the 10 mark and higher, that was always considered to be a man-made,
Yep.
some kind of sort of outside influence,
Yeah.
whether it be leaking power supply or whatnot. But that's something else that you see a lot as well. A lot of YouTube videos and whatnot where people sort of seem to work on this theory that the higher the reading, the higher the possibility of ghosts, or the more ghosts are in a room. So I'd really like to hear from anyone out there who's using these devices. What especially if you've got an actual digital reading, what readings do you find are sort of the pristine area, or that pristine region of readings that actually say that there is something paranormal heading around the device.
I mean, that's the thing. We would like to know because, look, seriously, we don't have all the answers, even though we don't.
Yeah.
But there's so many people out there who study a certain section of this equipment and they know it back to front. It's like voice recorders. What's the best voice recorder? And I don't think it's...
I was just going to read out what Glenn Johnson wrote on our Facebook page, or the Naked Zombie Facebook page, and he says he still loves his digital voice recorder and EVP software. But he wants to start experimenting with one of the ideas of Andy Kopok.
Yep.
Kopok?
Coplet.
Kopok.
Pop.
Gear that doesn't alter the current atmosphere. A camera set up with IR light, infrared light, is a good idea, but is sending out IR wavelengths, which could affect other equipment. Is that right?
So yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's the
contentious
thing.
at
I
the
mean,
moment
it's
as well.
same as any electronic device is going to pump out a certain amount of stuff.
Yeah.
If I was to actually look, I've got my phone here, and I'll just prove a point. On my phone, I have what's called an EMF meter, right? And I use this because it's quite accurate. I kind of like it. And I've got this knobbly thing that's come up on my phone, which I have no idea what it is. EVP analyzer. Let's have a look here. Where's my... I haven't got my glasses. This is shocking. I can't even see what I'm doing.
Do you want to borrow Hobo Bills?
No, Hobo Bills are... Yeah, I'll borrow yours. Hang on.
They're probably filthy.
Dialing
That's right.
dominoes.
My God, you're blinder than I am. Here it is. All right, so you can have your glasses back. This is... So you want to run that up to the camera and show the guys. Just run that up to the camera up there and show them. The closer you get to anything...
Where are we?
Yeah, there. That's beautiful. So they can see... If you move closer again... See how it's jumping up?
Can't see squat. Hang on. Maybe
Yeah,
if we're getting the
it's
right
up to
screen.
700 there. Just dropping now. Walk back slowly.
Six. Yep.
Yeah. See, there isn't a great deal of difference, is there? It jumps up a fraction. But
It's going... What? So what's the point? I mean, what's...
Well, the trouble is, now, look, if I put it... I know people are watching this. Yeah, and I'm doing this. Oh, if I do it with the computer, doesn't drop up much. If I do it with the main tower, I'm up to like 900 now. So, but I can adjust the sensitivity.
Going crazy.
It's going crazy. This is the thing. So if I take sensitivity right down, it drops right down.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a problem. So even with like a utility like this, even an iPhone application, where do I know it's the correct setting? You want to show people the Zippy sensor? I'll just show you guys actually what the Zippy thing
With something
does.
like that, though, you'd have to go out into the middle of a field where there's
Yeah.
no power
I mean,
lines,
keep
nothing.
Going, keep going, keep going, keep going. If you have a look now, take the sensitivity up. See what I mean? So where is the correct? Is it in the middle? Is it down low? Is it up high? I mean, this is a problem. So how do we actually know? Say with EMF pump meters and stuff like that, how do we actually know that the stuff we're using, like the K2 meters and stuff like that, is set properly?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to use that as an example for you guys out there. Yeah, that was my main thing about it. You know, like I know the old Gauss meters and stuff like that. You know how they used to flicker the other tri meters and stuff like that. They were fantastic because they were a bit of precision kit.
So
Yeah.
how would you set that so you knew it was reading correctly?
That's the trouble. I haven't got a clue.
You'd have to
I
be
actually
in a
got
lead line
no
box
idea.
so you didn't get any magnetic field through.
Yeah.
Basically, you'd basically have to
away
set it
from-
right down. You'd have to stand in an
In the
open
middle of
paddock.
the desert where there's no power lines and the
wait for it
kangaroos
to-
haven't got mobile phones.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's a mobile phone as well, so it's probably given its own sort of.
Well, it
reaction
probably
and
is,
stuff
yeah.
like that. I mean, it was free, so it didn't worry me. But I just wanted to.
Yeah,
Put
as
that
the strength goes up and down, that
Yeah.
means it's hooking onto new towers or
Yeah, I
a
mean,
GPS or something.
No, well, see, I don't trust it
No.
at all. I downloaded that as a viewpoint to see how good it was.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I said I can't trust it at all. It's interesting. And it
But
gives
it's a
you
toy.
some sort. It's a toy. It's some sort of reading. You need to go out and spend what, $500, probably on a half decent one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day, you need to go out. If you're going to take the EMF side of things seriously, spend the coin. Get something that is designed for particular. Don't rely on flashy lights.
Yeah,
I'm not a flashy
well, I
light
mean,
person.
that
I'm a gauge meter guy. I
Yeah,
want to
I
see
even-
where it actually reads at.
On that episode of Ghost Hunters where they did introduce the K2, and I remember them saying, you know, this device has been, you know, purely made for ghost investigators and highly tuned in for that. Which, I mean, it's
So can I just comment on that?
yeah,
Bullshit.
It's a massive ball.
I mean, and that's the thing. No, they were actually designed for finding electrical spikes and
yeah,
walls.
and I mean,
stuff.
and this
you
is-
run it on the wall and it tells you where the leads
Yeah,
are.
and
That's what it's for.
I mean, a lot
Like a
of
stud finder.
A stud
Yeah.
fight. It's the
Yeah.
same thing, but with power lines.
Yeah.
You know, like
and that
internal
was,
walls.
you know, mid to late 90s, there was a big concern in the United States when a lot of, you know, information started coming out from the medical community
Yeah.
about the effects of electromagnetic fields, on the human body. A lot of people, especially, in sort of lower socioeconomic areas who are living near high tension power lines and that kind of thing. So, it was purely a device, and there were a lot of, the fairly El Cheapo EMF devices that came out around the late 90s and early 2000s, purely to give people the opportunity that they could pop down to their local Walmart,
That's right. It was cheap.
pick one up for $20 or $30, and they could go home and test their house to make sure that they weren't at any risk of cancer or brain tumours. And
yeah, I mean, I had the Gauls one, the digital one. That was pretty good. That wasn't cheap, but so I guess in a lot of aspects, when we look at what our it was a stud finder, I believe. Yeah, pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
It's very hard nowadays. You know what I mean? Because I guess we're watching a lot of TV. We're watching a lot of new stuff that's coming. And some of it's brilliant. Like, I personally love the laser stud finder thing. It's cheap.
Yeah.
And it's excellent because you actually get an image coming. You can actually see the break and the actual thing. Mm. That's visually to me. And you can capture that on camera. You can't really fake that.
Yeah.
You can't. It's very hard to fake that. There's nothing that, unless you physically walk in front of it or you put your hand in front of it, that's the only time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You actually see the distance variation and stuff like that. I love that. To me, it's a fantastic bit. It's simple. It's effective. I love it. I think this is duck's nuts. Not very keen on the whole iPhone, Android applications. I now know that Ghost Hunters, I think, what's his name? Jason Halls is coming out with his own version of God knows what. I was reading about it the other day. He's coming out with some sort of, it's like the iOvilus and stuff like that. His sort of own version of that. Now, then you go to things like the Frank's box. Now, the Frank's box was designed by, for the solely purpose of communication, asking questions, getting answers. There's a lot more technical stuff in a Frank's box than there is in the Ghost Shack hack, whatever it is. Because basically at the end of the day, all they do is just take out the little switch that stops it repeating over itself, and that's all it does.
Yeah.
So people have got, but you've got to be careful. There's so much radio frequency and noise coming through. But the weird thing is, I know this gets slightly off topic, the weird thing is that I've used one and I've picked up some really strange crap on it. I mean, Brad, Scott, hang on, that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? So it's whether or not the spirit can manipulate these devices so you get a reaction, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's been around for a long time. A lot of stories, coming through the 70s and, into the 80s when people were getting, they could finally afford TVs. TVs were affordable. A lot of stories that you hear, sort of earlier pioneers in the field, who'd put the TV on a station that wasn't being used.
Static.
And sit there just with the white noise and static and watch for faces to appear and listen for voices and whatnot.
They still do, people.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't tried that yet, this is one of the coolest things you can do. Set up your video camera, put it on your TV, and have it run on a static channel, and just leave it sit there and run. Now, you're going to be watching probably 4 hours of static, but it's amazing the type of evidence you can get.
You've got to be joking.
No, I'm dead set serious,
there was
dude.
one guy...
You've got to be joking.
No, look, dude, seriously, I know it sounds odd, but fantastic EVPs. Pick up through this.
But surely that's just other TV stations that are trying to tune in.
No, but it's a channel that's not been used. It's totally white noise. It's white noise, pink noise, whatever you want to call it. It's a total static-related thing. Now, what's happened is people have actually caught face, not like a person walking across a road scenario. It's like a face up against the screen on,
where the sort of where
the
flat
pixels,
screen, the pixels will actually, almost give you sort of like you don't get 3D on a TV, but they'll sort of bend, visibly on the screen. You'll actually see sort of facial features, and
it's the most freakiest thing I've ever seen.
Well, that's how what was it, Poltergeist?
Yeah,
the little girl in front of the TV.
Against the thing.
Yeah, they're here.
It's the same principle. Now that actually did come from somewhere, so I'd be amazed. I would love to do that experiment again. It's been years since I've done it. You know what I mean? But I'll do it one weekend where I will actually set up on my LCD. Now, but the TVs are better nowadays.
So what, you get a better class of Ghost?
Could be. But you know what I mean? Like, the technology's improved that much. So, is anyone out there who's listened to the show now? Have you actually tried that experiment, and what sort of evidence?
I'm going to do that.
Well, and more
That's cool.
I'm going to
too,
do that. That definitely I'm going to do that.
I mean, because sort of this started, around the 60s and
Yeah, of course
70s
it
when
did.
you had, the projection tube TVs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how, it'd be really interesting to know how that style of television differs to the flat screen, LCD and digital,
Well, the LED TVs
Ones that
and
look
stuff
like-
like and the 3D TVs. What
Yeah.
does that? We're advancing that much in this technology. It's like, why don't we give this try different? Take bits from the past and try it with the new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
So-
question from
yeah.
Jason. Have you guys used a Radive diode? It's something from many years ago.
No.
No?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Actually, I actually don't know what that is.
Do you want me to Google it?
Shock horror. Actually, Jason like to tell us about it.
Well, yeah, but I might Google it just in case.
Yeah, Google it, just Jason.
Just in case he's dropped out.
No, Jason. If you can give us some information on that, mate, that would be awesome. Because I don't know what that
How do you
is.
spell it?
Because I'm getting through
R-A-U-D-I.
information very, very slowly.
U-D.
Got a bit of the lag happening over there.
Yeah, it could be the lag happening on my side of things. But I mean, that's fascinating, isn't it? When you think about it, you have this TV
Here we go.
projection
Radive
happening.
diode.
Oh, by the way, I don't know, for some reason people think the K2 meter's awesome, but I blame you for that, Wadsy. It would be equal if you didn't actually click yes.
So what is it? One more to yes and one more to no?
Yeah, it's a couple more. So
No, hang on. I only clicked it once, so therefore if it's a couple more, that's not me.
All right, that's all right then. See, I can't actually click on it because I'm actually doing it on the side of thing. So yes, it's a K2 meter. So participate. Oh, don't forget, people, we're actually going to go for a little while longer tonight. So tell your friends we're on, get more people involved, listen to the show, put it out there. We're going to do this every Tuesday and Thursday night because basically, in a nutshell, we want to get you guys involved. We want,
and the more the merrier, and
more
the
the
more
merrier,
people who sort of come in and give their opinions and whatnot. Yeah, participate would be
like
excellent.
Brad walk in front of a bus, something like that. I mean, it's all part of it.
Okay, a Radive diode receiver captures electronic voice phenomena.
Oh, that's right.
Unique
Okay.
dual capacity circuitry combines two authentic methods in one unit. Standard 3.5mm stereo jack plug to connect to a PC or tape recorder. Oh, this is actually selling it. Now available for £24.99. Buy one online.
So basically, it's what is it?
It's a device that captures electronic voice phenomena.
EVP. It's like a
Yeah,
voice
so it's
recorder?
just it's like a receiver. So.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an actual receiver itself. It's not like a voice recorder. It's like works on static or what?
Hang on, that's only the ad for it. That won't tell me anything. I've got to go back to the actual detail.
Yeah. I'm not paying you enough.
No.
I don't pay you nothing.
Pay me double what you're paying me now, and then I might do some work.
That's cool. So yeah, I mean that's an interesting fact. This is another scenario. When we go into this side of things, it blows me away.
Yeah, and there's so much equipment now, and not just
God.
new equipment, it's old equipment, and I guess for every piece of equipment, there's probably half a dozen people out there tinkering with it in their own way and
tinkering, changing it,
fine tuning it,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's best and what's not. So,
and that's why it should be. We should be trying mixing the old and the new to get the evidence. You know, one of my biggest loves is and biggest hates at the same time.
what's that?
Trigger objects and how they're used. I hate anything with wheels.
Yep.
In case it rolls across the floor by
Wheels
itself.
suck balls because it rolls anyway, right? I like objects that are very hard to move. But I like objects that are on something like flour or something like that.
Yep.
So I can see drag
See if
marks.
they've
So
been
I
dragged
can
somewhere.
physically measure how far it's gone and what sort of force it would have taken. I actually weigh stuff just to get an idea and then I work out through my excellent physics on how much Newton pounds per square inch or pressure it took to actually move the item.
Yep.
Then we'll know. See, it's not just going, oh, look, it's moved 3 centimetres, right? An object's moved 3 centimetres. How much force did it take that to move that 3 centimetres?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it's about. You got to work out, say this much weighs this much. How much pressure would it take to move that as well? Then you've got some idea of what sort of energy was used.
Yep.
These are things that you got to think about on my viewpoint, but I'm just a maths geek when it comes to stuff like that. I just love that sort of
Oh,
you
no,
guys at
you
work
have
are
to.
driving
That
mad with it.
eliminates a lot of things. I mean, it eliminates wind pressure, it eliminates something that wouldn't be able to move it in case of the room's been tampered with.
Yep.
That eliminates a lot of things. If you say, oh, it's moved, why? How?
Why has it moved? How much pressure it took to move it, and
Well,
stuff
that's,
like that.
it's just another factor, involved in the actual movement of the object as well. So, the more, or the most data that you can possibly collect, it just goes that little bit further, to sort of being able to prove that it actually did move, and you've been able to rule everything else out.
I mean, I'd like to put the question out there to our viewers, people listen to the show tonight. Have you guys tried trigger objects? And what sort of response did you guys get? Yeah, I want to hear about it. Did you use like a car with wheels or a marble? I personally hate marbles. I remember seeing it was Most Haunted once. Don't flog me in the streets when I say I watched Most Haunted once. They were throwing this marble up the hallway, and the marble was being thrown back at them. They never shot the camera up the hallway.
After it was bouncing off the wall just out of shot.
Or there was a sound engineer standing up the wall throwing the marble back, type thing. I mean, this is the thing. We got to take all these scenarios into consideration when we're experimenting with stuff.
And I've said it before too. Like, I really like the trigger objects. I think that they have a valid place in investigation. What I really don't like about trigger objects is assigning, individual, or like assigning a personality to the ghost that actually moved the trigger object.
Oh, that's right.
And I mean, like Waverley Hills Sanatorium, there's the story of the small girl who's said to bounce the ball in the hall.
Yeah.
And I think everybody who's ever gone and investigated Waverley Hills Sanatorium takes a ball.
There's
and puts
hundreds
it in
of the
hole.
bastards there.
But I don't know. I mean, from my point of view, if I was a ghost and I was haunting it and I was walking down a hallway and saw a ball, I'd kick it. I think as anyone would, dead or alive, you'd be like, "Oh, there's a ball. I'll give it a kick."
Exactly.
But,
it's like a Coke can in the street. You got to kick it.
Yeah, but I mean, there are so many videos on YouTube and in people's other people's investigations when they've done Waverley Hills where the ball will get moved or it'll get kicked.
Yeah.
And there's this instant, sort of instant
Euphoria.
jump to the, the conclusion that it's definitely has to be the the ghost of the young girl. But you think, I think trying to ascribe, an identification to who's moved an object, I think you can't do it. But I mean, I think from just the fact that something's been moved, I think it's really, really important
And you
to show that there's
should
something
take that as being cool bit of evidence if you can prove the fact it hasn't been manipulated by anything else in any other way.
Yeah.
Just getting back to the radii diode, Robert's written in saying that they've just got one the other day and they're testing it this weekend.
Oh, we'll love some feedback.
And Jason says it uses white noise from radio waves that are out of transmission range in basic terms.
That's what I like to hear. That's taking it to the next level.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, being out of transmission range as well, because that's always been my concern with using something like a spirit box or, I mean, especially if you don't have the cycling rate right. If it's too slow, what's to stop it from picking up, like as it cycles past legitimate radio frequencies, what's it, stopping it from picking up simple words? And they do.
And you know what I hate about the shack hat? That that constant skipping effect as it goes through.
Yeah,
I hate that. That drives me mad. That constant. I'd rather not have that. I'd rather have white noise than a voice come through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, that's impressive. Not. I do that well, don't I?
You do.
And I do the hand. See, people can see the hand signatures now.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
That's
and I mean, that's another concern with like the shack hacks too, is it literally you're just taking a digital radio, taking the case off, and then one of the wires on the tuning device, you're literally just snipping it to stop it from stopping on the next available, so it just continues to cycle. But there's nothing that actually allows you to change the cycle rate, that it's jumping through the stations either. So,
I'd like to actually hear from the guys when they get one, or they've tested it. Give us some feedback. Let us know how it worked for them and whatever evidence they found by using and stuff like that. Now, and these are the guys who are selling the products, and I know they're going to do their homework because I like these blokes. They're good guys. All of them are good guys. And I like to hear what their viewpoints in it and what their true, honest opinion is about it.
Yeah.
That's what the zombie's about. We want to hear true, actual facts and whether or not they recommend it or not. And I'll take their honesty at hand. If they have, if they think it's a great bit of kit, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and especially anyone who's using any kind of
Using it.
experimental equipment or whatnot. Yeah, you know, sort of let everybody else know, you know, how it went for you, how you think it went. You know, and what mightn't work for one person, somebody else, you know, on the other side of the country might have a better, you know, like a different idea of how to manipulate it, and you know, we could end up with some new equipment again that's really brilliant.
And that's what I mean. But we won't know until people like, you know, like the guys who are looking to invest in this equipment or build this equipment, let us know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because the stuff that I don't know about still.
Amanda loves your noises because she's just said that you reminded her of the Transformers with those sound effects.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Child.
Watch me transform again. Oh, not that sort of transform. Oh,
No,
okay. Yeah,
no.
sorry. Yeah.
No.
Stop it.
You're embarrassing. Embarrassment.
I am embarrassing. That's what my job, to embarrass people.
A job is something you get paid for.
I actually don't get paid for much. I don't get paid for
he's
dancing.
happy to do that.
Fake
Well,
photos.
yeah, he would be, wouldn't he? Yeah.
No?
Take his clothes off for free.
Goes
I'll
around
take my
asking
clothes
people
off.
if they'd like to watch.
You don't even have to ask, and I'll do it. You want me to?
No.
Oh,
No, we're all right, thanks, mate.
dang! Anyway, so I sound like the Transformers. That's awesome.
Apparently.
Okay.
I didn't pick that up, but
See how it comes through on the mic system, you see. Now we're just driving on. So, any more questions coming through?
not at the moment.
Not at
No.
the moment. Any more
No.
information? Because my questions have stopped because I'm broadcasting through here at the moment. So,
No, just the bit about the white noise.
white noise.
Yep, that's about it.
Awesome.
Let's see if there's anything on the Facebook page. Was there anything on that?
We're just checking the Facebook. You can tell we're running out of material. No, we're not. No, we're going for an hour and 5
I
minutes.
was going to say, I'll throw it out there too.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that as far as, you know, use of IR lights and IR illuminators,
go,
you know,
yeah.
in comparison to white light or white LED, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know you prefer the white over the
Okay,
over the
I'll
IR.
just show you guys something, and this is basically what I use. I'll just go to my little. What the hell is it? Oh, don't mind the puppet head. All right. Now, if you guys are
Been
watching this,
decapitating
Yeah,
puppets again.
looks like it.
Got a puppet graveyard down
Making
I've
a
got
Mrs.
puppet
Hobo
guy,
build.
Yeah, I like making puppets.
there. Franken puppet.
because I technically can't walk because I've actually on crutches. Can you take that up to the camera, please, and just show the good folks what I use? Now, basically, this when I go and investigating, this is the process. This is what I use to do investigate. It's handheld, simple to use, and I like a light because I like to see where I'm going. Now, it doesn't matter on a scale in my eyes where the
You
investigator
can do the hand model. The hand model.
The hand model. See, look. And here we have it on Shopper's Guide.
Need a bikini on. Pose with it.
Oh, you want me
I'm
in
getting really
bikini?
worried about you guys. Really worried.
Hey, me and you, dude. Next show, we're in bikinis. Yeah, go.
Okay.
No, but see, that's
I'm not.
No,
I'll wear a mankini.
But basically, when I
Not wearing a bikini.
you finished?
Why, have you?
No. I wanna keep
sorry.
talking. But I also have.
You want to
and
start from the beginning because we weren't listening.
I nearly said it. I nearly dropped an F-bomb. Basically, what I use is I've used the IR and everything, and I like it. I find in certain scenarios it's really good. But when I'm a location that's probably not the best, I like to have a bit more light than just rely on a little screen to look through, if you know what I mean. Because that's all you're looking through is
Yeah.
basically you're looking through a little screen. You're walking around going, oh, bugger, where am I? But with that, you actually got a good view of where you see. Now, if there's spirits around, it doesn't matter what time of day, night they're going to come out. Or something's going to happen.
Exactly right.
That was a question I was going to ask with
What?
you said torches before.
I use torch.
Yeah, but how does that affect the spirit?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Look, so say it's residual.
Yep.
In a nutshell, it's a residual haunt. Doesn't matter if we're there or not. At the end of the day, it's like a broken record that skips over itself. It just keeps following the same process. If it's intelligent, it'll probably say, "Hey, this is something a bit different.
Yeah.
Let's try and interact." You know, that
Yeah.
type of thing. So it doesn't matter day, night, whenever. If something's going to appear or make itself known, it's going to do it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Oh, yes, yeah.
just your timing has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's my view. So I don't think there's a big miss between the night vision compared to the lights, compared to this, compared to that. It's all to do right time, right place, right scenario.
So you don't think it matters if you go in there with a whole lot of floodlights,
Not really.
as long as you're not doing anything to actually disturb the place,
No, as long as you're not doing anything to disturb the place, I think it'll be
as
fine.
opposed to being pitch black and using night vision.
But no, so look, I've done both.
Yeah.
But I don't like floodlights because it sort of distracts you from what's around you because
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
focused. But soft lighting, something like that, something that's not too bright. That's
Yeah.
why I use that, because I can adjust it accordingly so I can see just enough, but the camera picks up all the information.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to do to that, I'm actually going to put a grid thing on that as well. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm going to have a mobile grid unit. So I'm going to put a grid laser on top of it, so I can swap between the two.
Yep.
So at the moment, say, well, I want total darkness, and all I can see is the grid pattern. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So is that infrared?
No.
No.
No, it's not. But I do have an infrared camera in there.
Yeah.
I've got another one that I use, which is a little one. It cost me like $40, and it's cool. It
Yeah.
does the job. You know what I mean? But there is some really good stuff out there. There's like the full spectrum cameras.
Well, yeah, and they're getting cheaper and cheaper
Oh,
by the
aren't
day
they?
as
What?
well. You know, there's some quite good quality,
Yep.
relatively inexpensive ones on the market now. So
And look, and I'm not getting paid to say this by anybody, and I guarantee you I'm not. But go and check out your local ghost hunting stores here in Australia,
yeah,
because they've got the equipment. Doesn't matter who you buy it from. Check them out, because I think you'll find you're very interested in the type of equipment they're getting. And no, just so people get off their high horse, I'm not getting any sort of kickback payment or anything. I'm just saying, check them out. Check
Yep.
them all out, right? And
Make up your own mind.
Make up your own bloody mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Jason's written in saying UV illuminators and full spectrum cameras. What's your view on them?
I'm still not quite 100% on them yet.
Okay, can we have a explanation of the full spectrum?
Well, I've used UV a lot, but I use digital-
ultraviolet
I use
illuminators. That's like
I'm doing my crippled act. Right. Showing all my stuff. Don't rob me. I use this, but I have a UV attachment for
UV
it.
filter on the end.
I have a
Yep.
UV filter, which I put on this, and I use this for that.
so. It's just a standard digital
That's
camera.
a standard SLR, digital,
Yep.
flashy, you know, and the batteries are flat, so I can't do anything. I use this with an IR filter on there.
UV
right?
filter.
UV filter.
Yep.
But I like that during the day. It's friggin' useless at night.
Yep.
Yep.
It's absolutely useless at night. But during the day, it's brilliant. You know what I mean? I can set up great shots, and they look quite artistic, and if there's anything going to break in that spectrum, I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
But having the cameras that have the full spectrum already done, or full UV, or whatever it is, I have never really had a chance to play with it, to be honest. But what you guys out there have, let's hear your views. If you want to jump onto the social stream and tell me what your impressions are, and we'll read them out for the other people to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, I've never played with one. I've only very much, really, technically, nowadays, that's old school.
Yeah.
It is. That's our way of doing it. But I'll be interested to see what these new ones do. I had a Sony.
So what's a
the
spectrum?
Cybershot. Hey?
What's a spectrum camera?
Full spectrum.
Full
camera. It
spectrum.
picks up
So-
all the colours and
Yeah,
light.
I
It picks
mean,
up all the
essentially,
rainbow.
you know,
Yeah.
how-
What, it separates the colours, does it? Or
So
it
it's
looks
just
past
it's
the normal.
Yeah, it looks past what you would normally
Let me
see
see
with
with your
your
naked
eyes.
eye.
Like, we only see within a certain spectrum range.
Yep.
Whereas that camera will actually see, across a much, across
Okay.
a full
Yeah,
spectrum.
what we
So-
can't see with our own eyes.
Yep.
And that's why people are going towards this, because there's this different plane of things that might happen.
right?
Yeah.
And
So-
that's what it comes. And I've never actually physically played with one, but I'd be interested to find out who has, and get some feedback and see what they think of it.
Yeah.
And they can write it in, because I can't see it at the moment because I'm too busy looking. And what's the score on the K2 thing? What's it your say?
Where do I find that?
Down the bottom in the poll.
You've broken it now.
He's broken it. Thank you. He's
Where's
broken
the poll? I haven't got the poll on here.
You clicked on the poll before.
Yeah, that's when I was asking the question.
He danced on a pole too once. It's quite
I did.
interesting.
That
He's
was
wearing
interesting.
this little one-piece leather suit, and it was really quite touching. And I flipped through him for $3, $3.50.
$3.50, and I sent you 50 cents change.
You did actually. I wanted $3.50. Where's me change? So what does it say? Well, according to the
Disappeared.
according to the poll, it's yes is winning still
By
by a click. Who's going to change that for us?
I can't. I've already voted.
Oh, damn. All right. I can't vote because I'm putting it out there. All right, guys. So what we do want from you guys tonight, we're coming towards the end of the show. We have been going for quite some time. We will do another live show on Tuesday night. And please let people know about it. Get people involved. Get your friends involved. Let them know we're broadcasting live. Look, it's mainly, yes, you can see us, but it's a way for us to produce the show live. And you can write in and give us details and stuff like that. And any closing questions there come through, mate?
No, nothing at all. I'm pretty quiet at the moment.
Pretty quiet?
Yep.
Well, good on you. Listen, thank you, everybody who's taken the time to tune into the show tonight, to listen to us and be part of the Naked Zombie experience and get to see us.
Yeah.
Yeah, go away.
We are real people.
We are real people, except for Hobo Bill. But he's real in his own way.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Surreal.
Don't forget.
Surreal Hobo Bill.
And before I go tonight, I just want to clarify the points I'd made at the beginning of the show is the Naked Zombie Radio does not support one single entity as itself. We are all about, we're mutual.
Yep.
Right? At the
Always.
end of the day, we're mutual on it. If you're a shop or something or an organisation that needs help, let me know. I'll do up an ad. I'll put it on the show for you. It doesn't cost you anything.
No.
Right?
That's
It doesn't. I do it for free. I mean, it may be a bad voiceover attempt, but it's free and it gets you out
What
there.
do you mean, maybe a voice bad over attempt?
So
It
watch
is a
all
bad
the
voiceover
Transformer
attempt,
ads.
I do that well. But this thing, so... And
No,
look,
only
even
one
if
person thinks you do that well.
Yeah, one person. Hey, I'll just do it again for fun. So what you got is, if you've got... And if I rotate them, like one on one a week, one on another week, one on another week...
No
I'll
one's
do
got
that.
their knickers on or not.
Yeah, I'll do that for you. But you got to approach me.
Yep.
You've got to let me know. I just don't do things off my back without permission first. So if you want an ad done up or you want something, let me know. It doesn't cost you anything. I'll put it on Naked Zombie to help get you out there. And, I don't want anything out of it. We don't want anything out of it. We're just happy to do it to show a bit of support.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it.
Share the love.
Share the love. And
That's
that's
it.
all we want to do. So, yeah, that's basically about it on that side of things. So, no more questions?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Liam, in closing statement, don't
in
forget
closing.
we've got some awesome stuff coming up.
We
very,
do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, watch this space.
Watch this space for some very awesome stuff happening on the
Awesomeness,
Zombie.
awesomeness, stuff.
Awesomeness.
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 Awesome,
of this.
awesome
and
stuff.
don't forget to tell your friends about the live show, even though it cuts in and out for you sometimes. I'm sorry about
It's
that.
been
but
pretty consistent for a
it-
while,
it's
actually.
been good tonight.
Settled down, yeah.
Yeah, settle down a lot.
Well, that's on mine. I don't know about everybody
Well,
else's.
8 o'clock, Tuesdays, Thursday nights.
Yep.
And we're going to do the live show that way. Wadsy, anything you want to say?
If it's on the net, it must be true.
Haunts of Brisbane, when are they having their next?
Next tour, we've got actually a big Halloween one coming up on 26th of October, so still got a few tickets left for that. And anyone else, yeah, if you jump on Haunts of Brisbane, the South Brisbane Cemetery Moonlight Tour has actually got a new Facebook page.
Yep.
So, yeah, jump across onto that and hit the like button and
Moonlight
show your
Tours,
support.
don't forget it. I loved it. We had a ball on doing that. Also,
Sounds so romantic, Moonlight Tours.
yeah, the subject kept trying to hold my hand. It was supposed to
Was
be.
that what it was? I thought it was Hayden's.
No, it was mine. But I didn't say anything. I didn't want to upset you.
You
Okay.
kept slipping it in.
Slipping one in there. Stop it. Oh, we're going to turn to the other
Oh,
version.
wet sloppy one.
Oh, God, I'm going to give up now while I've done a job. So don't forget, guys, and thank you to everyone for watching us tonight. Great having you. Tell your friends, all the rest of it. Don't forget about the website. I'm looking at the camera. Cameron's over there. Hang on.
Yeah, hang on. Where are you?
Don't forget about the Naked Zombie website. There you go. www.naked-zombie-scott. What am I saying? Naked-zombie-radio.com. Where you can listen to all the podcasts. This show, my thing's playing up now. Look, I've dropped it. Don't you love live
You know
radio?
the saying, do you know the saying, if it's not broke, don't touch it?
Yeah, well, I just touched it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you can go on there, you can check everything out and all the rest of it. And anything in closing, guys? Thanks to the audience.
Yep,
Give a
thanks
big
a lot.
wave. Big wave. Thanks,
Big wave,
guys.
thank
It's
you.
been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for
dealing with
posting
you
on the social stream.
Yeah, thank you. Don't forget, we'll do this Tuesday, Thursday nights. Hope you had some enjoyment out of it. We don't get up and dance and stuff, but, it's a radio show, so that's what you get.
Exactly.
Maybe next
It's
week.
a radio show with pictures.
It's radio show pictures. Maybe next week one of us will dress up as, I don't know,
Borat.
a banana. That's your job. All right, so like I say each week...
He wears a suit. I can do that.
Yeah, good one. So, like I say each week on the show, have a good night, have a safe night, and please, guys, and this is very, very important, show a little tolerance, show a little kindness, and, support each other. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
All right, have a good night, have a safe night, guys. We'll speak to you all next time.
See ya.
Bye.